Hello, this is Arishad with From Genesis to Revelation, and this is day 40. And we are in poetry today. Thursday we do poetry, and we're in Job chapters 11 through 12 today. And I just had to be real for a minute. I mean, I'm real all the time, but I just have to be myself. It's funny sometimes when you watch yourself and you see everything that you've done and everything that you're doing. And for me, it's like, a part of me, like right now, like it's like, Job talking to his friends, and his friends just kind of just telling them all kind of things. They think that they're right, but he knows that he's right. Well, he doesn't really know that he's right, but he knows he didn't do anything wrong. And sometimes that's how I feel. It's like, I don't know what I did to deserve this. I've done everything right. I have, like what Job did. He was a devout man. He was a righteous person. He gave offerings and for his children and everything. And even in this in these chapters, it was doing the same thing. And I know for me, as far as the testimony that goes along with it today's reading is that God's wisdom and counsel is with him. And I've learned that. I've learned that with God, his wisdom and his strength are with him. He has counsel and understanding. We just have to stop and listen to him. We just have to stop and listen to him. And sometimes we get so caught up in just wanting to do what we want to do. And I mean, I'm like that, and it's something that God is working with me. I mean, he gives me a vision and a dream, boom, I take off with it. I'm just like, wow, Lord, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that. And it's like, oh my goodness, it's like instead of me stopping and really just kind of taking time to sit down and allow him to completely give you everything that he wants me to do, step by step, with the provision and how everything's going to work, I just immediately go. And I'm learning now to just stop. Like even like this week, I don't know what I was going through, or what, I don't know what happened. It's like it's like a weak moment. And I mean, it was so strange. I was just like, Lord, I found myself asking him, like, God, what is it? Why do we go so long, but then it's just like that one thing. And what God told me is that he's revealing the weaknesses, and in order for him to reveal it, we have to see ourselves do it. It's kind of like I had an outer body experience, and I just laughed. I was just like, oh my God, Lord, just please help me. And even with today, it was just a crazy day. I mean, talking to people today is you meet some people who are very kind and generous, and you meet some people who, it's like everywhere I went, they had an attitude. And I'm like, Lord, what's wrong with these people? And then I had to check myself. I'm like, is there something wrong with me? Because it makes you do that, and then, when you know that there's nothing wrong with you, then, you still come in there happy and joyful and bubbly, because when you have the presence of the Lord and you have, his strength and his wisdom and everything, then and it is joy. It's like, wow, it's like nothing really can bring you down. It's like your light just shines no matter what. But anyway, I went to a couple of stores today, and I promise you, this lady was so rude. I just had to thank God that I was a Christian woman, because if I was a used to be or back then, it may not have been so nice. And I know it probably doesn't seem like that, but it would not have been nice with the way that she talked to me. And I feel like when people don't, just because I don't go in somewhere all decked out and this and that doesn't mean that I'm not going to buy something. Doesn't mean that you could treat me any kind of way. But what I've learned, what that taught me is that that's why we have to love everybody. That's why we can't be like the world. We can't live the way that they live. We have to live a set apart life. We have to be, we have to love everyone, regardless if we don't like them, regardless if they don't like us, regardless if we have had problems with them or vice versa or whatever the case may be. We still have to love them. We still have to treat them like our brethren, because that's what sets us apart as Christians, is our love walk. So, okay, I just had to get that out. But back on topic, this my testimony for tonight really comes from Job chapter 12, verse 14, and it says, "If he breaks a thing down, it cannot be rebuilt. If he imprisons a man, there can be no release." And when God began dealing with me, he broke me down, and everything that he broke down was broke down. It was really nothing that could be rebuilt. And it was like, when he began to imprison the I won't say the man, because it wasn't a man. I mean, when God really began to cast out the things that were in me that needed to go to deliver me, it was done. That it was done. And that's why I am the way I am right now. That's why, I hardly ever, if I ever have a bad day, if I'm down, it's not probably for about 5 or 10 minutes, and that's it. Then I just kind of have to pick myself back up. And that for me, it's like when God really delivered me, when he really broke that thing down, it could not be rebuilt. All the stuff he broke off from me, there's no way in God's green earth that I will bring that back upon me. When God delivered me, there's no way that I could go back to it. I don't really know. I really don't know what really to say. I mean, for me, it's like, most people don't really say or admit or whatever, but I just feel like our lives are for someone else. It is our life, but we are living the walk that we have, the things that we go through is for someone else. But one of the things I really, really struggled with was sexual addiction. And what people don't understand is that it's not only men that have that, but women have that too. And sometimes more so women than men. And, sexual addiction is it's real, and it's very, very prevalent, and it's something that we need to deal with as Christians, and it's something that we need to deal with at home in church first, and then go out to the world and help them to get delivered from it too. Because when you're in sexual addiction, you don't really realize it until you have an outer body experience, till God really breaks down and shows you everything, as far as the deception, as far as why, as far as where it stemmed from. For me, it came from my childhood. As a child, I was molested, and so it kind of stemmed from that. And I didn't really understand it or know it or anything until God brought it back to me. And but it all transpired, and I had to deal with this, like, in my present life now, as an adult. And it was hard, for me, and I know, I said that you should say things were hard, and you shouldn't, but it was difficult because I didn't know how, to express it to my husband. I didn't know how to express it, to, people who were close to me. I didn't even know how to really go to pastor about it, but I knew how to talk to God about it. And for me, I remember just crying out and just telling God to help me, to deliver me, because I didn't want to be like this. And for me, it was like a rejection thing, And I don't know, but for most women, we can't take rejection. Well, I'm going to say women, but for us as human, we can't take rejection. When we are rejected or we feel rejected, we have to get back out there and and get that reassurance, get that confidence back, get that whatever it is that we know that we are a good person, or that we are a pleasing person, or we can please somebody, or we can satisfy. It doesn't matter if we love them. It doesn't matter what happens. We just have to know that we can do it. We just have to know that we can pull that number, or we can get that guy to buy us this, or get that girl to spend that money. You just have to. And I'm not saying that that's the purpose for everyone, but that was for me. And it wasn't so much getting someone to buy me anything or to do anything for me or anything like that, because people just do that for me naturally. It had nothing to do with that. But for me, it was from rejection, just being rejected, just feeling like I was inadequate as a person. And I've never did anything homosexual. I've never had a lady or woman or anything like that. That's just too much for me. But I know people who have, and it's kind of like, it's sad when you look at it, but then when you look at yourself, it's like you're doing the same thing. You're just doing it, with you're just doing it with the opposite sex, but you're still doing it wrong. You're not doing it according to God's law. But anyway, when God broke that off of me, when he broke it off, it's gone. It can't be rebuilt. And my pastor, he gave me a scripture. So God's giving me scriptures, and even God is giving me scriptures to where I just constantly repeated them over and over and over during the process of restoration, during the process of being made whole. And I still say them over and over again, because the enemy still tries to come in and attack you. He wants, that's his job. He is the accuser of the brethren. So even if you are delivered from somebody or something, he's still going to come back and try to tempt you and test you. The enemy is going to do that, but it's because you have to be strong enough to know that. You have to be strong enough to know that you are delivered from it. That when God breaks things down, it can't be rebuilt. If He imprisons a man, there can be no release. If he's imprisoned, that spirit, or just like in the parable where he casted out the demon from the man who was in the tombs, and he was throwing him, and the spirits came out and was asking him, what are you doing, Jesus, son of Nazareth? Are you here before the appointed time? And they begged him not to cast him into outer darkness, but into the swine. And it's like he imprisoned him in there. They couldn't do anything from there. They couldn't do anything but go where he told them to go, and that was it for them. So I just thank God that He delivered me from that. And I want to encourage you today, if you are going through something like that, where you're not married and you're having sex, or you are married and you are having affairs, or having sex outside of your marriage, adultery. Or if you are just addicted to porn, just addicted to things that are not lined up with the Word of God, God can deliver you. God will deliver you, but you have to be willing to be delivered. You have to be willing to be set free. You have to be willing to face yourself and to confess your sins and to really want to be made whole, to be made well. It may seem embarrassing to you, but there's so many, there are so many people in this world who are experiencing that, who are, it's like alcoholics, it's like drug junkies. There are sexual junkies. There are sexual addicts who can't, they will sleep with anything, anywhere, it don't matter who it is, where it is, how it is, they will do it, because they have to feel that love, or they have to feel like they belong somewhere. Even if they know that person doesn't care about them, even if they know they don't care about that person, it's just the point of having that comforting. It's just the point. It's just the point of having that temporary moment of affection. That temporary moment of deception is really what it's called. And so, we really have to stop looking for love in people and start looking for love in God, because that's truly where you'll find every empty place will be filled by Him. Just like in these stories and stuff. What I really like about Job is that, even when his friends told him what they said, that he should just stretch out his hands toward him, and if iniquity were in your hand and you put it far away, and would not let wickedness dwell in your tents. Even when they told him that, he was wicked, and he did something wrong. This guy just doesn't do this out of the blue, and da 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 da. He still stood his ground. He still was stubborn in his faith, and that's how you have to be too. That's how. I think that even in the midst of us going through something, we really have to know our God, and we have to know the God that we serve, because that's the only way that we can truly be delivered from anything that we're going through, that we can truly be set free to free others, when we are transparent and open and not afraid to share what God has brought us through, because we don't look like what we've been through. Most Christians, they don't look like what they've been through, and that's the glory of God. Because once you have truly gave your life away, truly withheld nothing from Him, you don't look like anything you've been through. It's like years are taken off of you. I've met people who were like 60, 70 years old that look 50 and 40. I've met people that are 50 and look 30. That I'm like, you're how old? Oh my God, because it's the glory of God. And that's what happens when God sets you free. That's what happens when you're delivered. It's all that weight is lifted off of you, because the enemy, what he does is he adds years and years and years upon your life. You don't even realize it. He's just sucking the life out of you, and you don't even realize it, because you're so caught up in everything. You're so caught up in yourself. You're so consumed with sin that you don't realize that your life is slowly being sucked out of you until it's too late. Until you are at the rock bottom, you look bad, your teeth bad, your hair bad, everything is all bad. You might think you're jazzy and this and that, but you are really a mess. And that's what the enemy does. That's what the enemy, and you can't be deceived. You cannot let, the enemy take you out like that. So anyway, I thank you for listening to From Genesis to Revelation tonight. I pray that it bless somebody. And I just pray that you let the light of your testimony be a lamp of God for those lost in darkness. Don't be afraid to let other people know where you came from. Don't let people just see, the made up you. Just like me, like whenever it's time for me to get on camera, I am who I am. That's just it. I feel in my heart, when I talk to God and stuff, I feel sad because, where I am, I haven't really been able to upload my videos like I want to. But it's really for God. So as long as I know that, as long as He knows my heart and He knows that every night I'm faithful, same time, same place, that's all that matters to me. Every morning I'm faithful, same time, same place, that's what matters to me. If we go, even if it's earlier, even if He calls me sooner, I'm there, same time, same place. What you need, because it's not about me, and people need to see that you're real. They need to see that you go through struggles. You've been through some things, some good things, some bad things, some crazy things, but this is the other side. There is another way. There is another side. There is light at the end of the dark tunnel that you may be in, and the answer lies in Jesus. It lies in Jesus Christ. It lies in your love, your heart. You know, it lies in everything that God truly stands for, everything that Jesus truly did for you, everything that Holy Spirit is trying to tell you on a daily basis. That's where whatever it is you're seeking lies. So I love you guys, and I just pray many beautiful blessings upon your life, and just continue to love everyone, to love God, and to love people. This is a Rishada with From Genesis to Revelation. Once again, remember to let the light of your testimony be a lamp of God for those lost in darkness. Day 40. Woo! See you tomorrow for day 41. Bye.